Well, then in this journey of kind of stepping back into Soul City and reacclimating to the culture and building this trust as you were just talking about, you've had the opportunity to step into more leadership and more responsibility in various aspects of like the staff and weekend service planning and things like that. Which when you were kind of describing a little bit about what your role looks like now, I was thinking to myself, how many production staff people always sit in their seat on the bus and think like, if only I had the ability to make this creative decision or make the call on this or whatever, it would be so much better.
Yeah.
You have been given the opportunity to step into some of those decision-making roles. So like, how has that been and how has that been different? What are the muscles you're having to flex that are new and that whole experience?
I think the biggest thing is like not being so technical about things, because all I think about is like how it works or whatever, how we're going to pull that off for that moment or whatever, that's what I'm thinking about. And so the one big thing that has been like helpful for me or I'm still learning how to do is zooming out.
That's good.
And not just thinking about what I need to do in the booth, but thinking about what everyone is doing in the room or how we're running a run through, how we're doing like all these different things that I didn't think about because I was like, oh, it's not really my lane. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But it is my problem now. It is my lane. So it's like, what do now I have these ideas and thoughts I've had for so long of like, great, now I can do those things. But it's not just like, hey, we're doing this. We're going to do run through this way and that's it. It's like a culture shift, which John and I have been talking about this past week because I've moved from, I was on ops and creative like half and half, which now I'm fully on the creative team. And so John, being the associate pastor now, is my boss. And so we've been talking about that, just kind of like some goals and things around like that. And so one thing for me is like really focusing on like the alignment of our teams, which is like worship and production, like in the Sunday gathering specifically. But man, it's crazy. Like there's so much more that goes into it that like as a production person, you don't see. Like communication, making sure everyone knows about what's happening, not just on the Sunday creative team, but like facilities and Soul City families, like all these different people need to know. And so a big thing for me has been like trying to streamline communication and trying to see everything from a bigger picture, bigger lens, instead of just like just the booth, which is so easy to do because you're just like, I just got to worry about what's happening here. And that's it.
Yeah, that's such a good word. Like I think about whether or not your role, like your title demands it, like how much more effective could anyone be by just thinking about things one step further down the chain, right?
Yeah.
How would I feel about this if I were in Kidsmen, in facilities, on the worship team, and like having that sort of like, you mentioned like clear communication, but it's really empathy. Like if I were that person, how would I want to be receiving this moment or this information to help me do my best work?
Yeah.
And that's something that anybody can act on, whether or not you're the leader, you know?
Yeah. I think it's important to kind of, like the big thing I've been working on is like pulling myself out of the booth on Sundays the last few weeks. Cause like, I also realize sometimes because I know everything, I also want to have my hands in all of it. So I'm like, oh, let's do it like this, or make sure you don't miss that. And it's like, I don't let anyone have the space, like I said, to do it.
Yeah.
So it's super helpful to kind of pull myself out of that and now be in the room still, in the booth still around things, but like viewing it from a bigger, like the whole, as a whole rather than just a part. And so I think it's important for, even if you're not in that kind of space where you have that opportunity or you're not like in charge of those things, to just think about those things, because then it helps you kind of understand where someone else is coming from.
Exactly.
So like, and I think John and Lindsay and everyone did a great job of like the containers that we have right now of service. Like we program for 55 minutes and we have 10 minutes extra in case we go long on something, but like, and also the reason we did that is not just because of the service, but like we have Soul City families, parents pick up their kids late and then that transition's hard. And I knew about it, but I didn't feel the weight of that until like now being in this role where I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that we stay within that realm. And if anything changes, making sure I'm communicating with the family pastor and anybody else that needs to know. And so I think it's important, like I said, if you're not in a role like, or have the opportunity to do that, to still think about those things. Because before I'd be like, I don't care, whatever. Like, doesn't affect me. So I don't really have to like, not that I didn't care, but it's like, it doesn't affect me as much as it does Soul City families. So if we go over 15 minutes because we're going extra long in worship and it's really going in, cool, I don't care. Like it's, they'll be fine. But now that I'm sitting in this role a little bit, or in this seat differently, it's like, I care because, if Fabi's our Soul City families pastor now, she was our worship pastor before, but she's like someone I've worked with for a long time, so I know her, and been able to have communication and conversations with her around like, hey, what do you guys need, or how does that look for you, or like how does it actually affect you when we go long, or when things just kind of don't go the way they're supposed to. And so it's been cool to be in that role, but also it's hard to change the things that I'm like, for years I've been like, oh, we should do it like this. What the heck? Why aren't we doing like this?
Building new habits and new thought patterns.
And it's like, now I'm able to do that, but it's like turning a ship around. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, it's the consistency of kind of reiterating like, hey, this is why we're doing it. And not just from a logistical standpoint of like the run through is going like this because we got to be like, which naturally that's something that we all want to just say and do, like just to get it over with. But from a spiritual standpoint, like a vision out point, because we're moving to 4 services in January. So like run through has to be like tight. We can't just like hang out, but it's also like, I don't want people to feel like they have to be there all day and run throughs are late and like we're just rushing all the time because of not being planned and prepped or prepared for it. So I think it's been fun, but also super, it's that, like you said, what am I doing different? It's like the muscle that I feel like I have, or I know. And like, if you know anything about situational leadership, it's like, I'm a D1. I'm the enthusiastic beginner. Like, throw me in, let's figure it out. Like I've done with everything else. But it's also like, it gave me a new excitement at Soul City of like, this feels like how I did when I first started. Where I'm like figuring it out. I'm failing. I'm trying to see, but having more experience with Soul City and kind of how things go. But it's definitely like I'm just an enthusiastic beginner. And I know that about myself. And so I'm not like beating myself up if something doesn't work or like getting mad about something. It's more like I'm aware of that and also asking for help. Like with John, he was like, just, I've done this in this role for a long time. So just ask
for help, man.
Well, I was thinking back to when you were saying earlier that you're also a 9 on the Enneagram. And so like when it comes to stepping into a new leadership role, that usually comes with you seeing things that you'd like to move in a different direction.
Yes.
So for a 9, that means a lot of conversations that maybe you'd rather avoid, I would imagine. How has that been? And like, just what does it look like for you to lean into
it's
that?
It's uncomfortable for sure.
Right.
It's like something that I think I've grown to kind of love the uncomfortability because it means that I'm growing or that I'm, learning new things. And so it's definitely been uncomfortable because some of those conversations I'm just like, can I just send you an email?
Yes.
Can I just send the Slack and we're good to go? Like, instead of being like, hey guys, here's what I'm thinking. I really want, like, this is where we're at now. And this is where I would like to be. And this is how we're going to kind of get there. And it's going to be flipping things on upside down. Like, we're not doing it the way we used to. And so that's hard because I always feel like people put in work to get us where we're at now. And so I feel like sometimes, am I doing something wrong by overstepping that or having that conversation and changing it where I'm like, I feel bad. Like I shouldn't do that as a 9. But also, I've been entrusted with this role. And like I'm entrusted with this responsibility. So I want to do my best to do what's best for the whole, not just like for me being like a 9 and like I'm scared to talk about it, like, so it's definitely uncomfortable.
I think it's really important thing you just mentioned where somebody put a lot of work into like creating what things are for a reason. Like there was a situation that was present and they thought this process or this strategy is the best way to solve the problem we're doing or we have here. And to like honor that
100%.
And at the same time say new seasons and new challenges demand new approaches. And that doesn't dishonor the past, but it opens up like freedom to say, it is only natural to grow and change. Like if we're doing things the same way we were 10 years ago, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. Not because what we were doing 10 years ago was wrong, but it's not 10 years ago. It's like as an organization, as individuals, like we've talked so much about like your whole story that we've been sharing is like, how have you been growing and evolving over the last decade? Well, that's the same process that a team and organization is going to go through too. And like celebrating how the things that you did before got you where you are and also naming that they won't get you to the next season.
Totally,
Like, I don't know, you guys have been on church staff long enough. How many times do you and your team like look back at some creative thing you did 10 years ago?
Why did we do that?
You're like, that's the dumbest thing we could have ever done. What were we thinking?
100%.
But that thing that you're going to do this year that you actually are really excited about, you wouldn't have gotten creatively to that place without going through that journey. And 10 years from now, you're going to look at that thing and be like, what were we thinking? Like, that's totally normal to have grown past where you are. And I don't know, I just think a lot of people can get stuck in that mindset. When you said that, like, I don't want to change it because someone worked hard on it. It's like not thinking about it as a dichotomy of it's
Yeah.
either or. It's it was
Yes,
awesome,
and,
and it's time for us to think about the next thing.
Yeah. And I think that's important for sure. Cause I never want to negate like the work that's been put into something ever. I think it's like you said, like, and growing and changing is scary. My whole life I've been like, oh, I love it. I was all about it. Like, let's go, let's do it, which is my MO mostly. But like this year specifically, I was like, I actually don't like change that much. It's hard. Or growing, it's hard. The growing pains are hard. And I realized that this year, but also knowing that like when you come to the other side of that, you're like, oh man, it was hard, but I'm glad that I'm here now.
Yeah.
And then what's next? And you kind of like, it's a roller coaster, like you ride the wave with it. But I think it is important that you grow and change. You can't just stay the grumpy production guy your whole life. Yeah. Because no one wants to be around that. I don't want to be around that. Like I was that person at some point, and I didn't even want to be around myself. Like it's kind of like, what the heck?
Well, I think like being uncomfortable is such a good thing, even though it feels so awful. I think
well, it's a skill. Like it's a skill to learn to be uncomfortable.
Yes, dude. And like it's so like I've thought a lot about like the tenure of an employee in any organization and what happens after somebody or to somebody after they've been there, let's say after 5 years and then after like 10 years. And the desperate need to make sure that there's still evolving growth or uncomfortableness that happens in those things. Because I think we've all seen the people who have been at an organization forever. And you're like, how are you still here? Because
20 years,
you're just chilling. You're just doing your thing. It's easy. And to not be uncomfortable can put people, and some churches are just like that, and that's okay.
But is it okay though? I mean that in a like pushing back against like
no,
what
I
people
think
would
it's
say. Is it okay?
Not
that they're wrong or anything. I'm not trying to call people out, but like at some point, it's like when is that change?
I think the way to answer that question in my mind is to never be closed to the question. Does that make sense? Like you could look at what's ahead of you in your organization and ask yourself, hey, should I blow things up and try something new? And the answer in that moment could be, no, we should actually, the right thing is to continue. But you're going to, if you always ask that question, eventually the answer is yes. Hey, where things are now, we do need to change here. I think the problem is when you just shut down to the question and you just won't even ask, is it the right thing to mix things up and change things? And you're just like defensive and
I always like to just like be the opposite end of those questions.
I'm
like,
it's
I'm like, well, why are we doing it like that? Like,
exactly.
And I think, and it's funny that you say that because like we had we had like a reorg at Soul City this past summer, which is why I kind of gained the responsibilities I have now. And it was like one thing Kelly told us was like, you want to have the right people, like we have the right people on the bus, but are they in the right seats?
Yes.
So you want to make those shifts. And it was like, it's still a weird transition. It's still hard for a lot of people. And even for me, it's still like, I'm learning all of it. Yeah. But it's like, before that, I was like, hey, I really want more responsibility. Cause I knew that I was getting bored just doing production. Like I was comfortable. And the first year I was there, it was like cruising. Cause it was like, I'm back.
You know what to do.
I know, and they didn't have anyone for a year. So like
everyone's thinking you're doing amazing.
Yeah,
everything
like,
you do is amazing.
Everyone loves you. Like,
you're here. This is great. And then Carrington showed up, and I did the Forest City recording with him in Rockford and their live album and stuff. And he was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean? He's like, "I know what you can do." And I was like, "Dang it, dude." And it took someone like that calling me out and being like, "I saw some of these old videos you guys were doing, like back before I left Soul City, where I did some really creative things." And he's like. And I was like, dang it. Yeah. And that kind of pushed me. And then it got to a point though where I was just kind of comfortable and doing my thing. And then I remember being like, I'm kind of bored. What can I do? That's, and I had conversations with Garen and Kelly and kind of just like, hey, I really want to like be able to lead people or like be able to, because I want to do good. Whatever I do, I want to do it well. And that doesn't mean being perfect, but just doing it well and like really inspiring people around me to do the same. And so that was kind of like my thought with them was like, hey, how can I like be in a role where I can do something like that? Where it's like, hey, creatively, how can we just raise the standard for everyone? Where we all like, we know that Soul City standard is here. And that doesn't, like I said, not an unattainable standard, but just moving the needle forward every so often so that was a big thing for me. It was like, I was like not thinking about leaving. I was just like, what can I do that's different? Like that's gonna, because I'm kind of bored and it's kind of boring. Like internally, because I like to do something new. And then they did the reorg, and then I was in this role, and I was like, frick, and
I got what I asked
This
for.
is, and Kelly was like, remember you asked for this. And I'm like, I know, I'm still here for it.
Yes.
But I'm just like figuring it out. And I thoroughly enjoy it. I called her the other day and said like, hey, thanks for like taking the chance to do that with our staff and like with our church and like really trying something new. Because most people, like you said, won't even entertain the question or try it. They'll just be like, nope, not doing it. And so it definitely is something that helped me. Like I said, it helped me just feel more like excited about what I'm doing.
To flesh it out for the people listening a little bit. So what are the responsibilities that your role includes now?
So now like as a production manager at Soul City, like I'm in charge of the Sunday gatherings essentially. So anything that happens in the room from service planning to timing to creatively kind of how we do some of those things and like helping with that. And so my role is being that center point person in the room that goes through like, here's what Carrington's thinking. Here's what you know Jared or Jeannie's, whoever's teaching is thinking, and like, and bringing that all together to make it flow from.
So a little bit more of the producer, creative director responsibility
so.
than
Some
just
of that
I'm just a
stuff.
production person executing.
Yeah. So some of those things, which is kind of cool. I mean, I really enjoy it so far, and it is a big. I wouldn't say it's a big undertaking. It's just there's things I don't know yet.
Totally.
So like, there's some reps and some experience I don't have. So that's the part where it's like. That's what I'm trying to get more reps on. Trying to like with Sunday morning huddles, like I'm doing them and trying to do more vision casting and not just like a big thing I learned this past year or I've been working on is like my communication, because we can have conversations like this all day and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Get me on a stage, which is crazy because before I could scream on a stage for 45 minutes and it was awesome and I loved it. Command the crowd, like the whole thing, stage presence, but standing up there and saying, hey, like there's 20 people here on a circle.
It's a different level of vulnerability.
And I'm like, hey, you know, like God really wants us to do well. You know, it's just kind of like, what am I doing? And I remember watching some video of this guy. I was like, dude, like your communication says a lot about you. And I feel like for me, the biggest thing I've had a hard time with is my communication, public communication, like speaking kind of thing. So I've been working on it a ton to like write scripts, do it again, do the whole thing. Like,
Dude, I think that's so important. I think people. So I spent a lot of my time in ministry crafting and coaching communicators.
Yeah.
And also having to do it myself from stages. People look at people that are good at communicating and they think it just comes naturally. They just walk up there and they do it and they don't
Maybe
know.
John Jorgensen.
Trust me, John has worked, but the
I know,
reason,
he works.
reason
Yeah.
is because he worked so hard for so many years to write and craft and
he's
wordsmith
amazing.
and think,
Yeah.
how do I say this phrase? But then what order do I say these phrases in to make them come and build on each other in the most effective way? Like there's so much scripting and manuscripting, and it's easy to think if you're just starting out in valuing like growth in that area, like, oh, that's not authentic, or I'm not just speaking like from the heart or whatever. It's like, no, if you're new to communication, you have to be intentional and thoughtful and scripted to start and to grow that muscle. And someday you will be good enough to like do it a little bit more off the cuff, and that's fine. Like you'll get there, but don't shortchange that beginning part of the process if you want to be a leader of anything. Like say you're just a production staff person or even a volunteer leader. Underestimating the impact of the words you say in that group setting, like it's a big risk. Like you gotta really think about that.
Yeah, and we have amazing communicators at Soul City. I mean, Jared, Jeannie, and Kelly, John, Brandon, like all of them are really good. And the big thing that they've, like I've been to churches where I'm like, I hear the pastor teaching or whatever. I'm like, what are we talking about right now? Like, I have no idea what's happening. And it's like, all right, you know, let's have an altar call or something. And it's like the response song. And I'm like, I don't even know what you taught about. And so that's kind of where I was. I'll just mumble and talk about things. And so then worked with Kelly. She's helped give me some opportunity to lead like staff meetings so I can like try that, you know, just things where it's like,
good.
And I was like, I prepped for it, dude. Like thought about all of it, the things she told me we needed to talk about, wrote it down, like went through it, like had a little script. And I was like, I still shake sometimes and get nervous, but it's like the more I've done it, the better I'm starting to feel a little more like comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like even with John just giving me pointers or things, he's like, hey, here's how I would say it. And man, he's so good at like vision casting. It's crazy. Because we had a one-on-one yesterday and he was just like, here's what I would say. And he just like started. And I'm like, man, I want to, like, I'm ready to go. Like I know you were telling me how to do
You just
this,
got me worked up.
It was like, dang. So it's cool to be around people like that are willing to invest in me as long as I'm willing to invest in myself and like say, hey, can you show me? Or hey, this is what I have. Like, And so it is important. For the longest time, I didn't care. To be honest, it was a TikTok video, some dude talking about communication. And I was like, he's like, so-and-so's in the back of the office and they're the smartest person in the room, but they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to communicate. And he's like, so the person that does know how to communicate, who doesn't have the same experience, is getting promoted or getting this job or getting that job.
Because of that.
And he's like, so the people that are the most dangerous are the people who know all of the skills or all the things, and they can communicate. And I remember being like, I didn't think of it as like, oh, I want to get more money and make it. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And all these years, I'm like, maybe it's because I just don't know how to talk in front of people.
Well, there's a leadership lid you're going to hit. Like eventually, I think Craig Rochelle said it in a talk somewhere, but like leadership always comes with a microphone. Like there's no scenario where you're leading any large group of people that doesn't require clear, concise public speaking. It's just impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I commend you for that. Like that's really cool to
Scary,
hear.
dude. Scary.
But I think that's very relatable to people listening that find themselves. I mean, in a production role, in a creative role, a video director, or work, like you mentioned being on stage in a musical standpoint, it is different to sing lyrics that are written and command the stage than it's way more vulnerable to stand up there and have to speak.
And I thought like, oh, this is easy because I did this for so long. I played in bands my whole life. I've played in front of thousands of people. And I'm like, it's easy. And then I got up there and I'm like, we're going to do a great job today because we're production and
Jesus is here.
Yeah, basically. And it was like, what the heck? So yeah, it's definitely something you should work on. And I think it's helpful because you can kind of articulate what you're trying to get across. And for me, one thing that was very true at Soul City, at least with everyone on the leadership, was like, you have a natural influence and people like really want to follow you and it's great and it's like fun. But like, the part that always gets you is like that vision part where you're like, they'll follow you because you're friendly and great and like they really enjoy being around you. But then like they don't know where you're going. And I was like, dang.
Such a good word, man.
So that was like where I like was like, okay, I need to work on communication of like the vision of where I want to go. Because then people are like, I'm already bought in with you or I already bought in with Soul City. But when you have that piece of like where we're headed or how, like the vision, you're like, oh yeah, I'm all the way in now.
Yeah.
Like
So good.
Well, and the prep to do that, I think of those early times that I would be in something that I had to lead. I'm like, I've never done this before. And I do not want to look like an idiot or feel like an idiot, even if I don't sound like it, just internally. And stretching those muscles to do that, it does become easier over time. But I think it's also, hey, in your context of production, like I don't want this disaster to happen like this has happened in other areas.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying something new, what are the things that I need to do to prepare myself to be confident on, in that communication with people? Yeah. And man, you could look at that in any organization, in any field in the world and go, the most influential people, whether it's in church production and all of the people that we all know that are influential, it's because they're really good at being able to speak, whether it's on a podcast, in a video, on stage somewhere at a conference or something like that. You're like, man, why are they so good? Because they can communicate it. Yeah. And that's the only thing that sets them apart from their skill set. And the skill set actually doesn't matter nearly
if you can't say
as much if you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally all what it comes down to. And I think so many people, at least even in the creative side, whether a musician or in production, like it's like, well, I just want to be the best engineer I could possibly be. I just want to be the best, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And
which can be fine in an individual contributor role in some places, but the reality is most of the people that are in the space that we're talking about, you are leading people. Volunteer staff, whatever. Like that's just the job. It's not, you don't get to just be the solo rock star doing stuff by yourself, which
it's fun.
It's what you signed up for. So
it's so interesting. I mean, I'm like thinking of like, why did some of the worship pastors that I used to work with have the jobs that they had? And it's not because they were like the greatest musicians on stage. They like rarely actually were they the best vocalist, the best guitar player, the best whatever, but they could communicate and cast vision really, really well to that team from the stage and lead, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's why they have those seats that they do. And it just ultimately comes down to that. I think in so many areas of our life. And so just go get really good at that.
And that's helped a lot. Like my eagerness to do that then with the new role that I have is like, oh
Makes
man,
sense.
it's just all like
Yeah.
just lining up. And so I'm like, okay, God, obviously you showed me
Yeah.
that TikTok video,
Yep.
but like,
It's honoring to the people around you because like one of the things I always used to say when I used to say when we would be planning services and stuff like that and talking about different moments and how do you shepherd the experience through what you're having people, thinking about the themes and things like that is, did what you say when you walked on the stage validate you even taking the time to get up there? Like if you walk up on stage and stand in front of 1,000 people and then you say something and you walk off, like, was it worth it that that like 1,000 people spent 2 minutes of their life listening to you just something from stage from the front of the room?
Yeah.
Like how is it moving what we're trying to communicate forward? And if it's not, then we shouldn't have you do it. We should just go from this thing to this thing. There's no reason to have you come up on stage and say something just because. And apply that to the other, like, hey, I circled up all my volunteers before service. Why? Oh, because that's what we do.
Why?
Why?
that's
Like, are you
cool too,
honoring the fact that we took 5 minutes, we got everyone together, and we had our meeting, but like, what was said in that to make it something valuable? And that's not to say it has to be the most profound thing ever. Is it a word of encouragement? Is it calling someone out? Is it a thought that you have? Like, there's so many different things that it could be. It's not that you have to feel the pressure to be like this profound philosopher every time.
Yeah.
But are you thinking about it with the weight that it deserves?
yeah. And that's like the new rendition of the creative team we have now is like one of our main things. Like the first question is like, why? Why are we doing this? Or why should we do this? Or, before we get into how or any kind of other things, like why? What's the purpose of it? Because it's true. Like if there's no purpose behind something, then what's the point?
Yeah.
It's like if it's not moving the mission forward, why are we doing it?
Yeah. It's there's so many areas I think of any of my seasons in ministry that is so prevalent in, and how much better could I have done it if I was thinking about it in that way versus only execution and the task at hand versus being able to, I think, just like cast that to other people. And that's what I mean, both from early in this conversation to now, it all points back to like somebody potentially encouraging you or calling you into this thing that you're stepping into, and the eagerness of that is so much greater than the person who has the skill set that will just like crush it. I tell people all the time, I'm like, we could find the best front of house guy for your church on the planet. Doesn't mean he would be a good production manager for your church at all. Amazing engineer, have the best mix you've ever had, but it's not going to move things forward in the way that you guys
lead people.
to lead the team, to grow your team, to grow your church as you move from 2 services to 3 to 4 services. It's like it takes a lot of energy and intentionality to make sure that is going the way that the vision of the church wants. And man, I will also say, like, the people you surround yourself with make you better. Yeah. You think of all of those people that you've named of people that are influential to you, whether it's Fabi or Carrington or Jeannie and Jerry and all these amazing communicators, like you will become better just by being around them and listening to how they speak and their intentionality of the way that they talk about things, whether it's in a staff meeting or on stage. How important that is, and like how it's easier to do that when you're swimming downriver with everybody doing the same thing than trying to swim up and doing it yourself or whatever.
For sure.
Good man.
That's crazy.
Amazing. Laz, I always love our conversations. They always
It's kinda crazy.
It's funny that you said earlier in the chat how you like to stay service level.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just
It's
a testament to
changed,
how you're just growing, because I feel like our conversations always go super deep and are super rich, and I just appreciate your.
It wasn't like that before, for sure. I enjoy it now. I think it's starting to become more of like letting people see me rather than just being like, it's good to see you. I used to be in a band, like I used to do these things, cool, whatever. Now it's like, no, like there's just more to me that people don't know, and it's kind of fun to share and also get to know other people. So.
I love it, and I think it invites other people into the same thing, because a lot of people feel that way of, hey, can I be honest? Can I share where I'm at? Can I share what I'm struggling with? Can I be honest about what I don't know yet? And to see it modeled by the leader or someone they look up to is like game changer. So I think that's just a great reminder for people listening, and like a great model that you're giving to your team.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see and just continue to watch you from, a distance, and as you're doing all the things you're doing at Soul City and just watching that church blow up. I mean, I think it's awesome that like you guys are at a
Growing
point where you
very
have to,
fast.
growing so
Very
fast, and
yeah.
is very, very influential in Chicago. And anybody that has, ever asked me like, man, do you know of any, good churches in Chicago? I'm like, dude, go to Soul City, man. Their leadership and the people that we know there are genuine and care deeply about that community. I think not, more than maybe
More than other churches.
more than some other
Soul City.
churches.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like you guys are just so intentional
Yeah.
in the city of
Yeah.
Chicago, being where you are and feeling like, hey, we're called to this area and want to serve this area and the people that live
100%.
here and the families that are a part of this. And I love that. And I love seeing your growth and how, God is working through you and Megan, your kids, and just you as a husband and a dad and all of that. And so it's freaking awesome, dude.
Thanks,
and
dude.
I love having you in Chicagoland, and Chicagoland church production people are the best, man.
I believe it. Yeah, they're great.
They are.
They are.
They are. It's a very, very cool, tight knit group of production people in this 35-mile radius, or maybe farther. I don't know if you're farther out here, but anyways, thanks for coming out and hanging with us, man.
Yeah, dude. Of course. Thanks for having me. I wish we could. I mean, let's just go all day, dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm like, let's go through
anytime.
all the things. But
There's lots more of this season, so maybe we'll have you back.
yeah,
Dude.
we can talk about like van life next time or something crazy. Like
Yes.
those stories.
Touring
are
in a
wild.
15-passenger van. Mine was a
Yes.
1991 Chevy Vandura.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a great
Vandura?
looking Vandura.
It's a $1,500 van from somebody
I bought
from a
it
church.
$1,500 from another band
Okay,
that had stopped touring, and we were like, "Can we make payments on this?" It was $1,500. We were like,
man.
"Sure."
Oh yeah, it's the best, dude.
Amazing.
And then I sold that van and bought my wife a ring. So
Oh, here we are.
look at us now.
Did you make payments on that too?
No, I didn't. My gosh. Anyways, I should find a picture of that and
that'd be great.
post it in one of these
Amazing.
clips. It was a
Funny.
piece of crap van, dude. Piece of crap, but it was very comfortable.
Because it was broken in.
It was very broken in.
used.
I mean, just dude, they don't make seats like that in a car.
Dude, my
I
back is
just-
still
I know
messed up from
exactly
those
what you
stupid van seats, dude. My body's
There's a
so
level of upholstery that just doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, they were like,
It does not exist.
yeah.
I want blinds in my car windows just to go. I'm gonna take a nap in the back here now. But anyways, I'm excited for this next season for you, and as we're going into the Christmas season and all the chaos.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you listening, take some of this stuff into mind and have intentionality as you're walking into your Christmas Eve rehearsals and services. And these are a very busy next couple of weeks as we go into that. And
Well, hopefully, even after Christmas Eve, you have some downtime before the new year kind of kicks off. And, Laz, I just think of so many of the different experiences and sort of self-discovery challenges that you went through in the different phases of your journey. There are people listening that are in one of those seasons, right?
Yeah.
And so before you dive into the business of January and just start everything again, like taking some stock, like where am I at? What are the things that I need to get clear about? What are the things I need to define and put language to?
Yeah.
What do I need to talk to my leadership about
Yeah.
or my team about?
Yeah.
Or what are the goals I have for the next year? Whatever that is, having that intentional, thoughtful, kind of retrospective self-inventory will only allow you to be more intentional with your effectiveness and your growth as a person in the next year. So
yep,
it's a worthwhile endeavor.
yeah.
it's good, man. Well, dude, we should go grab some lunch,
Let's do it.
Be so bad.
hang out,
Again.
and yes. Anyways,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's great.
Scene.
You-
And on that note,
See you all later, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Love you guys.
Christmas.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.